I looked up, and most of y'all have already at least had training, and I know some people have not had trainings yet. And what we're going over today is like the administrative role in special services. So, and I am getting into other ones tomorrow and Thursday as well. So check out our events page on that if you want to see more information. And also, if you could just keep yourselves muted unless you need to say something, or feel free to use the chat box, and I'll keep my eye out on that. And we will get started then. So I'm going to come over to Special Services. And this is the dashboard when you log in, and I'm going to go over that a little later just in case some people want me to go over that since they may or may not have had trainings yet. So I will go over that a little later, but I am going to start with the configuration and stuff. So I'm going to come over to our menu over here in the top left corner. And it's going to expand my menu, and I'm just going to come under Settings. I'm going to close the menu so that it becomes a full window. District configuration, that's where we're going to start. And this is where you will be able to set for the district whether you're going to allow banks or not. If you're not familiar with what banks are maybe like a preset verbiage that you want to use or that you want other people to use. And I'm speaking at the district level because that's who I'm kind of reaching out to today. So if you have district banks that you want to create, you want them to be able to use, you have to have this banks on. But that also gives users the capability of making personal banks. And I'll show you how to set up a bank in a little while. And it's easy to turn on and off. You just click, and if it's not blue, it's off. And if it is blue, it's on. Copy from previous document is like the CFE, copy from existing, whether you're going to permit your district users to copy from an existing ETR, IEP. So that would include, if you turn that off, they won't be able to do that for progress reports either, just so that you have that information. Import from document is if you create a plain document that wasn't CFE'd, then they can import parts of an old IEP or ETR progress report using that function. So you would either allow or disallow that. And then electronic signatures, same thing. And the Medicaid parental consent. So if you have that on, all forms that you can add that to will automatically have that on there. So if you turn it off and somebody needs that form, they won't be able to add it to the form or to the document. So that may be an issue right now. I know that there is an enhancement request to be able to add that to a document at a later time. So you can turn this off and then add that form to a document. And just real quick, what that looks like on the IEP, this is where I pulled it from, was the parental consent. And down here is the Medicaid information that you enter into this area here. So if your Medicaid organization contact information is different than this, you'll have to update that as well. So this should be something that you do. Most of you who've already migrated over have already done this. I know some of you haven't migrated over yet, but on the first day after migration, you'll definitely want to come in and do that. And got feedback from someone. There we go. If you have, like I said, on the first day after migration, somebody at the district level want to come in and set these settings, they are automatically defaulted to on, just so that you're aware of that. So now I'm going to come back over to my menu, go to settings again. And we're going to talk about document import. Document import is D2D transfers. So on this tab here where it says recent transfers, anybody that has been recently transferred into your district, so they are enrolled and have an SSID number, will show up over here. And since I'm working in a demo database, they don't have that. So I took a snapshot of one of our districts. So, of course, I blurred out the names. This is what it looks like when you come in. All you have to do is click on that little arrow there, and you can click more than one. And you'll just hit import documents, and it'll automatically import the document. You don't have to call the district that they came from and ask for D2D anymore. They're housed in, this is kind of how they put it. It's all of the IEPs and documents, ETRs, progress reports, all that good stuff are housed in like one big warehouse. And the key to get into the warehouse and to that student's document is them being enrolled in your district and having that SSID number. So you'll be able to import any of those documents as long as you have those two keys. You can also, if you don't want to go through your little list here, close this window. You can also go search for students on this tab and just enter a student's name. I'm just going to choose a student. And you can see it's working. It's going out to that warehouse with those two keys. And they're enrolled, and I have an SSID number, and it's looking for documents for that student. This student's going to come back that there's no documents found, obviously, because I'm working in a demo database. But if so, then they would list the student's name here. You would click that little arrow again and hit import document. And then those documents would automatically feed over to that student's profile within Special Services. I'm going to stop here for a second because I see some chat going on over here. So, why do I have a student show transferred from my district? Kim, I believe that is because that's the district that they were last enrolled. Are you talking about that screenshot that I had up? You talking about this? Are you talking about on yours personally? Okay, maybe we can look into that a little later. I'm not sure why it's doing that, or maybe because they were enrolled, left, and came back. But I will look into that. Okay, so next one. Can you only import documents that are completed? Yes, that is the only ones that are stored are completed documents. So if you feel like you're missing a document, you will need to go to that, reach out to that other district and ask them if they could complete any open documents, and then you'll have to look for that student again and see if there's any more documents out there. Is this for administrator or anyone can have access? Right now, the administrator, anybody that has the administrative role has that access to do it. We can customize roles if you don't want certain people to have that, that you already gave administrative rights to, and we can update and customize the role for that, and you can change it out. All right, good. I think I got caught up on the question. All right, good. All right, so we did document import. I'm going to go over to student document, which looks a lot like your dashboard as far as filters. So I don't have any filters on here. So all these documents are every single document that is housed in this district. So if I want to only look at certain documents, I can come over to the filter. You can see that I have a filter on here with events of 7/1 of 19 through 6/30 of 20. So that's the school year. It is defaulted to this automatically. They just added this event date filter recently. So that's nice. So you can customize the dates just by clicking the down arrow. If I clear the filter, you notice my filter turned white. So I know I don't have filters on there. And I want my school year back. I don't really need to hit this beginning end. If I hit restore defaults, it'll bring that back for me. I can do by when the due dates are, and the due date is not, it's the date that they enter when they create the document. So if they open a document and they just put, it's due in 2 weeks, then that's the due date here. It's not the date that the item ends, like when the IEP ends or the ETR ends, anything like that. Hold on, sorry about that. I'm going to have to close my Outlook so I didn't get any notifications. So you can choose like lesson 8, 8 to 14. I know some districts do make them use the due date when they create the document as when that document is really actually due so that you can keep better track. Statuses, I can look at only open, completed, or archived. Obviously, you can see here I'm looking at all of them. And then type, I can look at just one type of document that I want. I finally want to look at ETRs that are all due in the next 30 days. These would be all my ETRs due in the next 30 days. And I can clear out everything and then set that default back. On the little settings wheels here, I can show what columns I prefer, whether I want the date of birth on there. I would probably want the status since I'm an administrator. I'd probably want the case manager since I'm the administrator. And I'd probably want the event date. And if I create a filter out here, I can set that to where it's always that filter by just clicking use current filters. And that way, every time I come in, I don't have to reset my filters. And same with sorting. If I have it sorted in a specific way, I can say use current sorting, and it'll give me that every time I come in. I'm going to go ahead and click my column preferences. And now you can see, I can see who the case managers are and the event date if it's in there. And again, I am working in a demo database, so you'll see a lot of empty things and things that might not make sense. I'm going to come over here. I can mark as priority simply by checking the boxes, then come up here and hit mark as priority. I can actually delete completed documents. And I think there was a lot of misinformation given, and something that we've learned recently is that the only administrators can actually delete a completed document. Users have it set up like your ISs and special services people. They can delete open documents if you have it set that way. We did do a lot of custom roles for people, but if you had it where they cannot delete, then they can't even delete completed ones. But unless you say you want your users to be able to delete completed documents, They won't be able to without a custom role for them. So once a document is deleted, it goes over to the recycle bin, and I did delete a few of them earlier. I'm going to come over here to the recycle bin so you can see what that looks like. So this is saying all of these documents were deleted, who the case manager was, and who actually deleted the file. I did these yesterday, so I can come in and I can say, oh, I didn't mean to delete Sienna. And I can hit this restore. And it's going to tell me that that was restored successfully. These are only in the recycle bin for 30 days. We are pushing for that to be a little longer, like a whole school year, 365 days. But for now, it's only 30 days. So you might want to keep an eye on that as an administrator, just in case one sneaks by you. If I try to, let's see if I can get one to go. Of course, I'm going to get ones that, okay, so this one said, I could not restore because the document of this type already exists. So that means that it was deleted and somebody already created a new one. So it's not going to let you have two 2019-2020 initial IEPs for this student. So it's a good checks and balances. Just like when they create documents, they can't create one that already exists. And then I'm going to come over to the bank tab. And this is where you as a district would set banks that you want people to be able to use, your users. So I know a lot of the districts are putting that scholarship information in. So I put one in here for that. And I'm going to show you how to add a new bank. I'm simply going to click on New Bank. And I'm going to come down a little bit and you'll see that I have a new bank here. It's going to ask me, what document do you want that bank in? So I'm going to choose here. I'm just going to choose an IEP. I'm going to choose which section of the IEP. And I'm going to choose the measurable annual goals. And I'm going to choose the location of annual goals. So our district has a policy, a reading policy that they want to, get reading levels up. So I'm going to say that this is going to be called reading assignment. And I want all of my users, anytime they have a reading goal, to put in that. I'm going to put the little hashtag first, and it's going to put the student's first name in there. We'll read so many minutes, so many days per week. And so that these X's come out because everybody's reading goal is going to be different, of course. So I want them to put however many minutes they feel that that student needs. I'm going to highlight it so it stands out for the user. And same with the number of days per week. I'm going to highlight it. So now that I have that all set up, all I have to do is hit create. And now I have that new bank here. And to delete a bank, you just check the box and hit delete. I'm going to show you real quick how to edit one. I'm going to come into the scholarship one. So if I want to edit it, I just click on the blue link. I'm going to open it up below. And I just want to say that this part is like bold and underlined. And then I'm going to hit save again. Also, I forgot to show this to you before. If I have a goal that's only good for certain grade levels, I can, right now it's set for all of them. I can actually eliminate all of them and just choose one. Like just say this is only good for the one Sorry, that's over there. Do it. Fourth grade. We'll just say that that's good for fourth grade. There's not a select all, unfortunately. I think there should be. I did put in a enhancement request today for it to for you to be able to choose more than one thing before the window closes. I think my kid that I have an example on is in 10th grade. So they would only be able to see that bank if that student was in grades 1 through 10. And I just hit save, and then it's been updated. It gives you a little preview here in the grade levels, location. All right. Any questions on banks at all? Also on the student document, I forgot to hit this. This is where the data collection form was, or verified emails in the old terminology, DCF and the new terminology. I would just find the student I want to look at, and I can click either open to open the document, delete the document, or hit the DCF tool. And once I hit that, it pops up into a print preview, and it'll have all that information in there. So you can look at these before you complete a form to make sure all the correct information is in the form. I'll show you another way to get to that too, but when you're looking at completed documents, this is the only place under student documents that you can get that DCF form. You cannot get it from the student profile area off of a completed document. All right. So I'm going to go out to a student. I'm going to go over the preview real quick, just in case there's some people that haven't done any of the training yet. This is just student information. This banner stays whichever, depending on, no matter which, tab I'm on, this banner stays here. Gives the school, the status, grade, date of birth, counselor. The personal page is going to give their address. It's going to give their ethnicity. If you guys do family groups, they'll have that information in there. Any programs and transportation information. I have a question. Can you get the DCF on both a completed and not completed document? Yes, you can do that in those student documents. I'm back over here. If you know, well, the one that I was on was actually an open document. Yeah. I would just click that in DCF, and you see the status is open. Let me go back to Sawyer. And over here, I have my recent searches since I don't have a case management class, since I'm an administrator. So it's going to tell me which ones I searched recently. So I can get back to them that way. Come back over to personal. I'm going to come to contacts. And we have like the mom on here, Dennis, father, whoever you guys add in as your contact on that student contacts page, those come over to the contacts tab in special services as well. Any updates need to be done, student information. And then the special education tab, this is going to list who the case manager is, the most IEP summary. Let me show you Cortez Stewart real quick because he actually has an IEP summary. So if I click here, his most recent IEP summary is 2015. It just shows up down here so that, and this is what teachers can look at if they're not ISs, they will be able to look at the most recent IP summary. They can do a print preview, and this is what the print preview looks like. I'm going to hit exit. I'm still looking at that because you can see I still have that information in there. So I want to hit the red X. I'm going to go in. Let me go back to Sawyer real quick. I'm going to show you how those banks work real quick for a user. We're on the IP. Maybe I'm on the IP. There we go. There we go. I'm going to go to the cover page. And then I'm going to go to the other information because that's where I put that scholarship. So once a user clicks in this box, you'll see a gray dot. That means that there's district banks available. So they would just click on that. This is where their personal banks for this area is located. I have a district tab. And I can say insert. Say insert. There we go. And then it puts that information into this box. To get out of the banks area, they would just click the X there. So now when I go to print this, that bank is now in there. Same with the goals. You can see I have a reading gold here. There's a bank available. I insert it. And then they can come in here and just put like they're going to read 20 minutes, 3 days per week, and then exit out. So it's really easy for them to be able to use those documents. Also on this area, since this is an open document, this is where that DCF form is. So your users used to be able, were probably used to running that verify EMIS. So when they're finished, all they need to do is click this view DCF form now. And it'll pop it up in a print preview form so that they'll be able to look at the whole DCF form to make sure that all of their information is in there before they can truly say that they have completed the document. Like they're completed with it. Whether they're allowed to complete a document themselves is a district decision. Some districts are allowing it, some are not. All right, so I pretty much went over everything I was going to go over today. I kind of wanted to break down some of these in smaller chunks just so we could get a little bit more into them and be more targeted towards certain audiences. Does anybody want to see the dashboard that may not have had trainings yet? I'd be glad to show that. Or does anybody have any questions? The special ed events page still looks the same. What do you mean by that, Patty? Ah, that one. This is what it looks like. Let's scroll back up to the top. So there's no other section. So this is, I believe that since this is an IEP, I believe that it's only bringing over information that has to do with an IEP. Mary says that she'd like to say the huge difference the system's going to make. She can't wait for the rollover. Yours is coming soon, I think, right? Yes. Well, no. So Kathy asks, can I only import documents from districts who have done the refresh or any district using special services? So you can only go from, like if you're currently in Classic, you can't receive any D2Ds from a from a district that's already rolled over. Does that make sense? But if you're already rolled over and the district that's sending it has not rolled over yet, those documents will be out there in that student transfer. And I do not see that, Megan, the NIEP. Thank you for that input, unidentified person. She's saying that an NIEP is only used for funding and EMIS reporting. Any other questions? All right, great. Well, I did record this session. I know a lot of people want the recording so that they can go back and look at things. I'll get that posted up soon. I actually started posting stuff to a YouTube channel that we have, so that will be good. Patty, will banks in the old system roll over when we move to the new? Yes. And the users, banks will roll over as well. So they are user specific. The only issue that I know that they've had with that are like people that are at more than one place. So if you're at an ESC or you're at a career tech school, banks are not totally, they're like user and district. So if you have the same username, you're going to different districts, it only works in one for each district. And I know that they want to try to connect that totally as users. All right, well, it looks like my little chat room over there stopped. So I'm going to go ahead and complete our training today. Again, I'm having one tomorrow and one on Thursday. If you want to get into tomorrow's, let me know because I think the sign up has already closed and I can just invite you through email. And if not, I'll talk to you guys later, okay? Y'all have a good day.